As you can see, Cosplay with Pride Activate is the name of this panel. Cosplay with Pride, we are Cosplay with Pride, or at least a couple of the members. We will share a little bit about what we do and introduce the wonderful individuals here. And since there's two of you, we'll find out who you are, and hopefully you'll want to participate and join after learning about everything we're going to talk about today. So go to our next slide and we'll start off and we'll just have our conversation. Huzzah. All right, so Cosplay with Pride, you could read the slide up there, but honestly, we're a bunch of nerds, a bunch of cosplayers, a bunch of geeks, whatever term you want to call it, who ended up finding each other through cosplay and wanted to do more outside of conventions, right? We didn't want to just pay to do the thing that we enjoy. And so people started asking to do events and wanted to start doing things. And my husband and I ended up, we have connections to Silicon Valley Pride in Silicon Valley here. And we were asked and tasked with inviting for the first parade back in 2015 that they brought back to the city. They said, we would love it if you found cosplayers who would dress up and be in the parade, because it's the first parade. And they really wanted to show this wonderful color and be kid-friendly. That was a big deal. And that's kind of how it began, and began being called Cosplay with Pride. That's how the name kind of grew. Everyone started, every year was like, this is really fun. So are we gonna do like the Cosplay with Pride thing again? And it snowballed into this thing. We now have almost 300 members. We're getting really close, and it's just grown to be this wonderful community, wonderful family. And it's not like a 501st or anything like that where you have to have said things and all of that. As you can see, all of us do what we want. We enjoy what we do. There's no rhyme or reason to what we do other than just don't be an asshole. Yeah, and enjoy what you do, and let's support our community through cause, C-A-U-S-E, play. Cool. This would normally be for the entire room. Please scan QR code for our link tree. We have it a couple of different times. We have multiple QR codes, so you can see that in a little bit. All right, so C-A-U-S-E, play, is in the name of what we do, and we like to support, and of course Activate is in the title of this. We are about activism and being advocates through cosplay. So one of the most important things right now is that drag is not a crime, and that you should support the Drag Defense Fund whenever you can, or learn about it to say, yes, drag is amazing. They're not grooming children. That is ridiculous, and we should absolutely support our local drag performers whenever you can. All right, we will introduce ourselves now. We are Lonnie and
Sean.
We are known as Dynamic Cosplay, and this is kind of what we fell into. We're the co-founders of Cosplay with Pride, and we found cosplay together. We didn't know it was a real word. I was actually upset because I thought people were just jamming two words together. I was like, it's just costuming. I don't understand. It was like 2011. And then we found Fanime and we never looked back. And now we have amazing friends and amazing family, and would never do anything different. I'm just so excited about everything we've done. And yeah, next person we have on the slides is Pearly.
That's me. Yeah, so I have been cosplaying for 8 years now, which is crazy to say. And I don't remember exactly when I joined CWP, but
I don't know. You've been here forever.
Years
I don't know.
ago.
We've known each other forever at this point.
I'm a nonprofit myself originally. I'm a social worker by profession, and so this whole organization has meant a lot to me, and it felt like a place I could belong. And I don't know. I think when I first started cosplay, I was like very naive to the idea of like all the hierarchical stuff that happens and elitist stuff that happens. So this felt like a group that all went away, that dissolved, and I was like, yes, I found my people. So I've been with Cosplay with Pride ever since. Really happy to be here and support, and yeah, excited. Yeah, that's me.
Next human.
Next human.
Oh, it's me.
That's you.
You.
Hi, I'm Paul. Pretty much like, I don't know when I started cosplaying, probably 2 years before you.
10 years.
So 10 years now. God, it's been 10 years. But started going out to things like, SF WonderCon, where they still had it in the city and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, it's cool. People can make costumes and stuff. But I was kind of a big guy, so I was like, I don't think I could get into costumes and stuff like that. But I don't know. For me, cosplay, I just started like modifying cosplay to be like, okay, I can make it in a way where I could, just interpret it for my own sake and like kind of like, it's like it's a fun hobby. It's just fun to like be able to be expressive, and it's like it's not so limiting. Like for me, I used to do a lot of just mask cosplays because I was just kind of shy about it. But I've slowly opened up to like full face cosplays and stuff like that because I'm like, okay, like, I don't have to look exactly like the character. I don't have to like match them 100%, and it's been really fun just to be able to like, well, overall just like conventions in general, it's like you're in like a bubble of like people that are like-minded, people that are like a similar hobby. A lot of us are kind of socially awkward to start, so it's just an environment where people could kind of cut loose, have fun, and kind of understand each other. So I've always loved the con community, like for like the longest time.
Next human.
Hello. My name is Miska, and technically I started cosplaying in 2007, but then I didn't really know what it was because I was sort of dragged into it. Because we basically, long story short, it was a Full Metal Alchemist group, and I was getting into it, and I wanted to be Envy because I had long hair, but they already had an Envy, so I was Roy Mustang. And it was Fanime. But it was 2015 when I actually started going to anime conventions and started cosplaying on my own. And the first actual cosplay would have to be one of the muscular Diglets that you've seen around yeah, around FanimeCon and Anime Expo. I started cosplaying because basically, like, a lot of people say that you should just be yourself, but I most of the time I don't really feel being myself most of the time, but why not like dress up as anyone, I like being Hanji. I like being, I don't know, a muscular Diglett.
I'm sure lots of people liked you as muscular Diglett. You were probably drawn onto pillows, okay? Like, let's be real. You were printed out onto whole pillows. So cool. And since there's just the two of you, what are your names? So we can just look at you and...
I'm Elise.
Elise?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Elise.
I'm Clarity.
Clarity? Oh, that's awesome. Well, hooray. Thanks for joining us today. I'm sure this is just too early for a party con. So we're going to go through some of the things of what we focus on, right, as a cosplay group, and hopefully you'll feel activated at the end of this or even want to join us. And if not join us, go out into the world and activate yourselves and others. So that is the goal, right, is to take what you love and turn it into something that you can spread love and glitter and rainbows everywhere. Especially as queer individuals, I feel like this is very important for all of us. Yeah, I think all of us fit on the queer spectrum, right? Mm-hmm. Are we all on the spectrum? Is everyone under the rainbow? Miska, you're on the rainbow. We're on the rainbow. Paula, are you on the rainbow?
I live in the Castro.
Oh, there's your answer. And that's the best part, I think, in our group. That's not even like the most important part of our group, but I would say 99% of our individuals are all under the queer rainbow spectrum. That's awesome. All right, we're going to talk about inclusivity, the why it's important and how. So if you want to share things or ask questions now, we can totally do this. But inclusivity, I feel like, is important. We all just actually, Miska said something at the end about feeling like yourself, right, and fitting in. And I think that's something that cosplay, sometimes it's like, yes, you go to a con and it's amazing, and then other times it's super exclusive. I feel like there's like, you kind of waffle between these two worlds of whether or not you're welcome or whether or not you you totally don't fit. And I know it's like sometimes it's fandom based, sometimes it's just there's personal drama. I mean, oh my God, the cosplay world has so much drama. If you're on this side, you're on that side. But I think the most important part is it's starting with you, and being inclusive with yourself and recognizing how to do that. I think just starting, so the reason we started Cosplay with Pride in general was because we felt left out. My husband and I are older. When we just came into the cosplay world, it's like children everywhere. Hi, please have a fan if you would like. You may snap at any time. All snaps are welcome. So yeah, we started making events. Before even Cosplay Pride became a thing, we started creating events to meet with people because we felt too old to exist in the fanime space. We're like, oh my God, look at all these babies everywhere. And then on top of that, we didn't feel like we looked like everybody. We didn't feel like we could be included, so we kind of almost forced ourselves in. And then when we couldn't fit, then we said, well, we need to be the ones to be inclusive. So we started making 21 and up meetups and 21 and up gatherings at bars outside of fanime for grown folks to have a drink and chill out and not feel like surrounded by children. And then eventually Cosplay with Pride was birthed out of, like we said, we attended Silicon Valley Pride and gathered all these amazing people, and it just grew into this thing because having the feeling of including everyone was just, I refuse to let it go. I refuse to let it go. Anyone up here want to include us to the why this is important, or inclusivity, or how you have done this in your nonprofit space or daily life, or even, well, we're at a video game music space as well. I know Miska has thoughts on music and all that. You want to go first?
In terms of like inclusivity, it's MAGWest, music and gaming. In terms of music, I've been in so many scenes. Well, not necessarily part of the scene, but I've been dipping my toes in different scenes, whether it be the goth scene, whether it be the punk scene, the hardcore scene, the metalhead scene. And they all share like one type of motive, or not a motive, but they have one ideology, is that, yeah, sure, there's gonna be gatekeeping involved, but then like, from my experience, everyone was included. Like, everyone, like, if I go to a local show at like a mosh pit, if I'm in a mosh pit, everyone's treated like family, you know? And just like family, they all they watch out for each other, you know? If you get knocked on the floor, you pick your brother or sister up, you know? You just don't leave them on the floor all hurting.
Right.
And everyone's included in the mosh pit. Or if they don't want to be included, you have to recognize that, of course. But, and yeah, in terms of music,
I feel like sometimes when people become excluded, they start only seeing themselves as excluded all the time. I feel like it's really hard to get past that. When you're excluded and pushed out, I know a lot of people who've been cosplayers, they get pushed out and they're like, I'm never going back because I've been pushed out. And I think it's hard, but I think it starts inside you as well to say, no, I can be included. I should be included. Because it is definitely, you're the one excluding yourself after a certain point. But obviously, dealing with gatekeepers and such, and there's a lot of that going on right now in the world. We don't need to talk about all of that, but yes, we absolutely need to do what we can, internally and externally, whenever we can. So we can move on to the next thought that kind of ties into things. But before we do, birdie bots. So in between each thing, we're gonna do birdie bots. And since there's only 3 of you, each of you will be able to come up and try a birdie bot with us, and then you get a goodie bag for doing it with us.
Come on up.
All right, who's gonna do it first? All right.
Come on up.
Come on, Clarity. Oh, here we go. Got shook out. You get 1. I have no idea what it is. Oh my God. So I drop it.
Oh, that was a bad one.
You are more than welcome to spit it out. Pass it down. Just here, honey, take it and pass them down.
Worse the more
What are you doing?
I quit.
Pass them down. I have no idea what I'm grabbing. I grabbed one for myself. Did I? Here, please have a goodie bag.
Anyone else?
No, they're gonna do it. They're each gonna do it at the pass. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready?
I ate mine already.
I have fangs in it. That's not gonna be helpful.
It's soap, but it's not that bad.
I think mine
No.
is soap.
Nope.
Mine is soap.
Soap is nice.
Nope.
Oh God.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that.
What'd you get?
I don't. Nope. No.
Yeah.
You get.
I don't even know.
No.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. Round of applause for clarity. For surviving.
Representation matters when you eat horrible.
Yes, representation matters. Jesus.
Like a MAGWest or something.
A what?
We all feel so seen. Okay.
Like if you're going to the Michael
Michael's store?
it tastes
You just
like a
don't- you
Michael
can't
store.
see. Good thing you can't see the expression.
Oh my God. I didn't even bring water. That was a mistake. Oh my God, there's waters. Pass it down, please. Would any of you like water? Do you need water? Please, grab a water over here then. Oh, never mind. She's saying don't take the water bottles, take the cuppies. Oh, okay. That's fine. We're very generous with our water bottles. We don't care. We don't need them all.
Would you like to take a birdie
Yeah.
bot with us?
She's like, no. She watched us all get terrible birdie bots. She's like, no, thank you.
That means we ate all the bad.
I know. I mean, you can do that. You could do this with us after. We'll do it after. Oh my God, that was horrific. All right, representation matters. Why does this matter? Who has a good story about representation? Who wants to share how they feel represented or why representation matters? Does anyone have anything? Do you want to share about Layla when she sees individuals that look like her in the crowd? Oh, actually, The Little Mermaid. She said things. You want to share it?
I didn't really see you, sorry.
Oh, I did see it, but she's been talking about it. So Layla is our 7-year-old. She is not here. She normally actually would be on the panel with us. She has lots to say. She is clearly 29 in a 7-year-old body. She is very light-skinned, but she is literally someone who can check off all the boxes down the line of every ethnicity possible. And she has very curly hair, very like Shirley Temple hair. And so she has been getting very excited whenever she sees dolls that come with natural curly hair. She's like, oh my God, it looks just like me. Even with like Mirabelle, that's another character that she saw and was like, oh my God, she's got hair just like me. And The Little Mermaid, I mean, she's light-skinned, but she's black like me. And so things like that matter, even when people don't feel like you fit or represent whatever the thing is that you say you represent. But those moments like that, especially for children, I think are why we do what we do, and you know, why we need to see more things. Like all of these shows up there are amazing. If you have not watched them, She-Ra's fabulous. Oh my God, Owl House was fabulous. Please watch those, even though they're no more. You see, we have
The latest Disney.
Kurosami up there. It's me and Pearl, actually, because we like showcasing the gayness.
That little Disney thing we saw the other night.
Which one? What Disney thing?
African thing.
Oh, there's a new show. Oh my God, on Disney Plus. It's all of the African, futuristic, Afrofuturism art. Fabulous representation there. So it's amazing to see all this stuff like explode, because I think there's a huge amounts of power behind seeing yourself represented, starting at a very early age. I mean, I cried at Moana. You can't see my natural hair, but my hair looks just like Moana, and I was like bawling the entire movie. And I had no idea why until after. There's a princess that looks just like me. Who else has a representation matters moment? Did any of you have a moment where you saw a character and immediately were like, this is me, bleh, ugly cry?
Not Mulan.
Mulan?
Not the live action one, at least.
We are not discussing that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been drawn lately more to queer Asian coded characters.
Yes.
Like Asami, like Dr.
Yes.
Afra from Star Wars.
Oh.
That's definitely next on my cosplay list. yeah, I don't know. And like that list is so short. Like
Yeah.
it's so short, and I'm trying to do them all apparently.
Right.
But yeah, representation matters. Obviously, as you can tell, there's not too many of us. There's not too many characters on that list.
Queer POC individuals. I feel like there's like a
Exactly,
whole,
yeah.
like we're being, I know some people are like, it's the marketing, meh, the man.
But why is that? Is the question, right? Like, why is the only thing that appeals in like movies, TV, and gaming like very standard white male characters, and that's it? And if anybody gets casted or gets represented in a different way,
Right.
it's boycotted, it's trashed. And
Oh my God, right, when
Just
they get
asking
pissed,
ourselves
yeah.
those questions, right?
Yeah, I know we were talking about video games and like how, you know, sometimes they do the recreation, like Last of Us for existence, right, for example. And, you know, just people get so upset when you when they update characters to fit current times. You know, they're like, well, why is the race being changed if it's not about race? And you're like, because that's not the way the world looks, right? Could you imagine Friends, the show showing now? Could you imagine that on TV? You'd be it's jarring as hell. If you don't see Friends, watch it now, and it's gonna shock the hell out of you as to how cis white the show is. Like I watch it because out of like complete fascination that they were trying to tell people this is New York City. Like New York City, I had no idea as a kid when people told me that Friends was like from New York. I'm from New York. I have family from New York. So they were like, oh yeah, Friends is based in New York City, Cafe Park, blah, blah, blah. I was like, where in New York City? I'm sorry, I didn't hear a Dominican accent, a Puerto Rican accent. I didn't hear nobody. Where are they? Where are the black people and the brown people and everyone else? The yellow? Where is everyone? Anyway, yeah. So, we want to talk about how we do these things? We want to move on.
Moving on.
The safe space. I feel like in cosplay and in gaming and in music and in life in general, I think creating the safe spaces to do those things, I think is what is the most important. And I think safe space, I don't mean as like a specific location, but as like you can be a safe space. You can provide safe space. You can give safe space. You can create a safe space, but you have to be the safe space. And then that's essentially what our group is about. We create a space where we have some people who grew up in our community and our family with Cosplay With Pride, and they have no idea that there's unfortunate cosplay situations. Like they're like, really? People don't like it when others, you don't sew your costumes? I'm like, no, honey, no. It's okay, baby. You know, and and beautiful. I love it. I love that some people don't realize that, but that's a safe space to allow someone to grow and to exist. But I think there's more to that. You want to add to safe space? How, why? We're good on time, by the way, so we good.
Okay.
We are good. I'm just gonna be like, time, please.
Well, time's right here, see?
I can't see. I have contacts in. Like, you're asking a lot from me.
You're good.
Safe spaces. Safe space online. That's something else. Like we create safe space physically as a group and as a community. We've recently been making safe spaces. We're being asked to make safe spaces for children now, which I can't believe we didn't naturally think of this. But again, our community is not something where we had a hierarchy, precedence, and all this stuff. Even though we're the co-founders, it was never meant to be like that. But we've been asked now to create safe spaces in more queer LGBT facing events because of the fact that there's so many people with kids and families and they want to do these things, and these are individuals who are so used to growing up and having parties, thank you, right? Like raves and stuff, absolutely. We take our kid to all the parties, I don't care. If she came here, it was fun. Last year, she was up with us playing games. But I think it's translating that. I think it correlates to representation, showing people totally fine, exists here, It goes back to inclusivity and then the safe space. So now we've been asked to make these safe spaces for kids where we dress up and we have drag queen story time, character story time, safe kid play, with adults and kids and all of this stuff. And we're super excited to do this at Silicon Valley Pride. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but it's going to be super fun. Just a bunch of children, and I mean us, and then kids. Just playing games, that's all it's going to be. But safe space, that's physical, whereas online,
So much harder.
so much harder. I know that, I feel like I could talk about in Pearl too, about physical space, but the online communities, my God, we can dive into that. Who here has not had a safe space online, right? Who has been berated by a stranger online, right? Who's been berated by family and or friends online about bullshit? Yeah, absolutely. And that's scary that we can't even have a safe space in our own personal social feeds sometimes.
It's like I'm going through Reddit,
Oh God, why would anyone read the comments?
It's I'm in subreddits, and then it's supposed to be a safe space for those community, and then suddenly somebody messes up for everybody in that community, and then they make a second subreddit.
Oh my God.
Like Avatar: The Last Airbender subreddit, and then suddenly there's Avatar: The Last Airbender 2 subreddit.
Oh no.
It always happens.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. I feel. So okay, so that's a question then. If you see these things online, how do you handle it? How do you handle the non-safe space and fix it?
Know the law. There are very specific laws and rules and guidelines by the FCC on what can and cannot be said online or in a public forum. A lot of stuff is harassing language and stuff actually is a felony. So if you're in a chat and someone says, "I will kill you," guess what? You can report that handle directly to the FCC, and they will investigate and prosecute. This is something they do not take lightly. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize this. I'm working myself in the audiovisual industry. We have to go by a lot of FCC guidelines, and this is something that I want to make sure that, because a lot of cosplayers and gamers don't realize that they take the online beratement from the trolls and everything, but at the same time, you have the law on your side, and you need to know. Look up. Take time. Google it. Say, what is harassment online? What constitutes? What can and can't be said? Know those guidelines, because then you can. They have the ways to report it immediately. So, if you're in a game chat, you're playing something, and someone starts saying some few things, you can very easily report them with the handle and quote the FCC rule. The rule number, and they will not only be excommunicated, but they will be reported to the FCC, and especially if they say anything threatening, they will go after them. So know the law, know the rules, and don't let trolls get the best of you.
Yes. I feel like on top of the law, I know it's easy to say, well, don't engage, but there are ways to do this, though, to create safe space and or take up space safely, because that I feel like some people are afraid to do is to take up space in a safe manner without harming yourself. We actually did this in a way with Fanime this past year. Fanime, for some reason, had denied us to host a queer LGBT cosplay gathering. They said it was too broad. Yeah, because, Disney isn't broad. And we had to go back and forth, and so now we felt like, oh no, I don't know how safe I feel. What does that mean, right? So instead of just raw attacking the non-safe space, we made noise. We did make noise. We decided we're going to take space back. I reclaim my time. And we had people mention on their threads of all the cosplay gatherings why this is important. I want a queer gathering. Please approve this. Eventually, they came around and had to come back to me and go, it's not that it's too broad. We're just concerned that if we put a bunch of queer people in one area, it will not be safe. Yes, exactly. I know. I wanted to rage against the machine.
Like that one guy who always shows up with homophobic signs.
Yeah.
Thank you. So many of us wanted to do the we were shaking. We were shaking. Some of us were shaking. We were so angry. But that is an age-old thing to say. They are trying to keep our space safe by not having us exist. And that is bullshit. So safe space means figuring out a way to create space safely for yourself as well. And we ended up, instead of doing it, since they said you can't do it, we can't have it, we just ended up doing something outside. And we hosted something separately and had a party and did all this fun stuff. And we also co-hosted the drag show at Stage Zero. And we showcased how amazing drag is. And they only gave them 30 minutes for a drag performance. Wild! I was like, 30 minutes? They're gonna get up and talk and say goodbye. But they were consummate professionals, amazing, pulled a huge crowd on Friday. And they're like, oh, I guess maybe we'll give you an hour next time. I was like, yeah, good idea. So taking up space safely is critical. Miska, did you have something to add on the safe space part in music? I'm trying to remember through my notes. I feel like you told me something about safe space. But am I crazy?
Well, it's like going back to like the local music scene or just any scene, like the music in general, or like heavy hardcore community or the metalhead community. You guys ever see that TikTok where it's like this very far removed boomer woman who's saying things like, you have space, you have safe spaces, I had mosh pits, we're not the same.
What?
But the thing is, the mosh pits that we have, or I shouldn't say we, but the community has, whether it be metal, whether it be hardcore, whether it be punk, those are safe spaces. Because everyone that's in that space, they are made sure that they're safe. That's why, like, you see like compilations of the band members stopping their shows whenever someone gets trampled or faints in the middle of the crowd. And I remember this vocalist in this deathcore band called Oceano. The lead singer, he's a black man by the name of Adam Warren, and he had this very fascinating, like very powerful speech about during the time when Donald Trump was talking about walls and stuff.
That was fun.
Adam Warren talked about how we built a wall, speaking to the audience that was there, just moshing the heck out of each other, saying that in these walls, we have each other. We're one big family. We watch over each other. We pick up each other. Outside these walls, it's not really much of, it's a very, very rough world out there. So what we have here, it's a representation of what potential we can have as like the human race, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
I really do, Miska, only because that's so not my world. And each of these individuals here have very different points of view and come from different walks of life. Again, we're all different shades and are under different spectrums. But I'm so used to seeing like rock, you know, punk, and in at least the public eye, I see it shown to me as it's exclusive, right? As very cis white. But it's taken me having a community like this, where I'm now including a lot of people and creating space for everyone, where I now have so many friends who are part of the same music group as Miska and punk and goth and all these different wonderful shades of black and gray and color and everything, that they're like, yeah, that is so not normal. The being exclusive to others within this community is not normal. That's actually not traditionally what's happening, and also that it's black, comes from black culture, punk, goth, and all that good stuff. We're gonna do Birdie Bot, by the way, before we move on. All right, who's next? Who's next? Let's shake it out. If you get 3, you have to eat them all together. No, I'm kidding. Wait, and all right, here, pass them down. Pass down the brats. You gotta take one. All right. Cheers, Birdie Bot. Cheers. Cheers. Did you get something totally good or gross?
Yeah.
You're like questioning life.
That was like dirt.
You're like, let me see what's on the side.
Nope. Nope.
All right. Cheers. Yeah.
Hey, for those who came in, you can get some birdie bots
Oh
too.
my God. I don't know what that
Would
was.
y'all
That
like
was
to come
so
in? It's like
horrible.
jelly beans, but like.
I don't know what I just did to my tongue.
That was immediately terrible.
Oh God.
What was yours? I think it was salsa.
What is that? Oh God. I feel like I'm gonna actually throw up.
I got the same flavor again.
I got so bad.
Yeah, please. You want to try your
Not
lucky
mad
one?
at
I think I may have gotten. I don't know. I think it might have been. But
Mine tastes like the
I think I
green
got, like,
area of
snot or
the
something.
green aisle
my
of
gag
Michael's.
reflex. No,
That
so there's
sounds
good ones in
appealing.
here. There are
I like
good
that.
ones.
The grass ones are like drinking wheatgrass.
Oh, good luck.
Which one's like,
Dos vidania.
I must just have a terrible palate because all of these have tasted okay.
That's really good.
All right.
Look out, you got
Oh man, you got cake. All right,
okay.
wait.
I'm gonna take that out and take the other one in case.
Take your goodie bag since you tried a birdie bot. Pass.
I got cake and cinnamon.
All right.
cake. Of course. Yeah, you get cake and cinnamon. I got snot. I got dirt and then snot.
All right.
Oh my God. What?
This final thought that we're going to go ahead and leave with is going to be, how do we activate ourselves then within our spaces and our communities? And I think, ooh, I have an extra goodie bag. Everyone gets one. I think. Extra goodie bag. Do my other 2 individuals want to try their luck with a birdie bot and get a goodie bag? Hey, you. Hey. Here you go. I have a feeling that one's terrible. I'm so sorry. Oh, there you go. Eat all of them all at once. You're welcome.
Yeah, I haven't had a bad flavor.
Yay. Oh, here. Flag for a
Or
flag.
my palate's just
Fan
shot.
for you.
All right, you have one more?
Everything tastes good.
And I have badges and stuff. All right.
This is true.
Goodie bag?
I have, no. I think those are all I have. I'll do it.
Bubblegum?
If you want to try one, I only had 4 goodie bags, but I have slap bracelets if you want one. Anyway. All right. To activate ourselves. I think we are having a pretty decent combo here. I think first, you need to acknowledge all the amazing human beings you love in this world and hate. Acknowledge them as human beings and recognize them for what they are, and then decide that you want to spread light, glitter, and rainbows everywhere you freaking go. Because there is no in hiding yourself. I think that's the worst part. I feel like everyone feels that sometimes hiding yourself, and this is why we choose to be cosplayers, is we hide ourselves sometimes under cosplay because we feel more comfortable being someone else. But Miska said it earlier in the beginning that sometimes when you're doing that, that is who you are. And that is okay. And I think many of us have come to terms that we love doing this for all the right reasons. And just by existing, you're taking up space, and if you're not seeing the representation that you want to see, you existing is the representation. And it sucks to sometimes be the one person in the room, but you have to have that strength to stand there and be like, yes, me, I the unicorn, that is correct. Because if you don't stand there, no one will. No one's gonna do it for us. And I think that we just need to empower each other and empower others, ourselves. I think that's just like the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway from what we do, at least with Cosplay with Pride. I think like Silicon Valley Pride is our biggest event. We're super excited, and we hope that after this you'll want to screenshot the link tree and then come join our wonderful little family and chat with us even more throughout the convention. I think most of us are here for the weekend. And come walk with us in Silicon Valley Pride and meet all the other amazing individuals that we have, and learn new things and learn new cosplay tips and learn how not to do things like me where I safety pin everything together and duct tape it all, and I have friends who yell at me.
I'll yell at you.
I know, all of my friends who are sewing.
And fabric glue.
I know.
Hot fabric glue. Yeah, she discovered that, and no,
I refuse. I don't want to
Hot
sew.
fabric?
I bought her a sewing machine. She has a nice sewing machine. She's like, I don't want to do this, and then
That
she
fabric
breaks out
glue.
the hot glue gun with the fabric glue
And it's fine because I have friends now
And
in
duct
my
tape.
community who do it for me.
and duct tape.
Yes. So, all right. And who wants to
safety
add to
pins.
the activate part?
I do.
Yes.
Something that kind of all encompasses all of Activate, inclusivity, and representation for me is like coming from like a social work background, coming from a cosplay background, a POC background, is the idea of intersectionality. And Miska touched on that earlier. I think it's just like acknowledging the fact that everybody has multiple identities, that, you know, that Venn diagram that you always see, right? It's only two of a thing. It's really like a whole bunch of circles that intersect into one you. And I think intersectionality is a really important thing to acknowledge when it comes to activating.
Yes.
That you're not just a cosplayer, you're not just queer, you're not just a minority. You are you, and you are all these things, or you know, you are some of these things. You may not be, you know, in certain groups, but you are in certain other groups, and that's okay. Yeah, inclusivity, I think intersectionality is really important when it comes to activating that safe space for me in my professional role and in cosplay for sure. Cannot stress that enough, but we are a lot of identities. We are all, and that's what makes us us. Yeah.
That's so pretty and so smart of you to say.
Oh, thank you. I wrote a paper about it.
It is the word. It's the word of the day. Intersectionality.
Love that word.
That is a great word.
Overuse it.
Well, but I think that's super great because that is literally what we do as cosplayers. Like quite literally what we all want to do. We all try and grasp onto the different characters and different fandoms that are us. And they don't know, it doesn't seem to make sense, right? Sometimes you have these correlating characters who don't match, but they're from these fandoms that hate each other. Star Wars, Star Trek, or any of some Disney ones and some weird, but you love them all, and you love them all equally, and I think that's beautiful. Anyone else want to add to the activating part of what we do?
This group actually activated me to do something a few years ago that I never, ever, ever, ever thought I would do. I was introduced to a show called Magical Go Ore, which is an amazing show. It's hilarious. It's kind of like girls, you know, if you haven't seen the show, it's these teenage girls, and they decide, you know, they want to, you know, they get the magical powers, and they want to do the Sailor Moon spin, and the entity tells them, oh yeah, okay, well, I'm going to give you armor for fighting. They're like, okay. Well, their armor was they turned into hot pop star guys, but still wearing the Sailor Moonish
yes.
like half shirts and
Magical
everything.
Girl Ore.
Yes, it is hilarious.
O-R-E. Yes.
Well,
Well, please,
yes.
it's very adorable.
Yes.
And yes, you loved it because he was in the very buff.
Yeah.
Hi, Spidey.
So,
You look very sus.
it's an Among Us, Spidey.
It's Spidey.
So yes,
with the dagger.
at Crunchyroll, a few years back, I decided to cosplay one of the magical girls. So here I am in thigh-high white boots, a little tiny mini skirt, and a half top, and just swole and buff, just
But that's
walking around
activism,
flexing.
right? I think that's
Yeah,
what people don't
that's-
realize. Us being us is activism, right? And I think that'll be my main takeaway. You living and existing in your true, authentic self every day, no matter where you are, is activism. And then if you choose to become an advocate, that's different, right? Advocating for others or advocating for yourself, that's a little more proactive. But just being you, true, authentically, don't hide yourself, that's activism. And that's how you activate, because yes, that is I didn't realize that you would put that to activate, but it's true, we activated you, and that is activism. You walking around, no questions asked, in the short skirt. It was beautiful.
I actually had a good time.
It was fun.
And I understand why women wear the short skirts. The feeling of the ventilation.
Oh, he was doing
the
this
air.
all day, okay?
It was,
all day, twirling.
There was, I was happy, very happy.
How do I do this? All right. Oh, you do it. Anyone have any thoughts? Anyone want to ask us anything? Questions? Anything? Otherwise, we will show you a fancy slide that please take photos of. Go next one. Yeah, this next slide. Please take pictures of this. This slide has QR codes to businesses and events that we absolutely love, that love the queer LGBTQIA plus community and do all the things. Obviously, Silicon Valley Pride is up there. Level Up is a really cool bar in Campbell. They have done events with us and love the rainbow colored community. Obviously, Billy DeFrank Center, if you've never worked with them and you need support, they're wonderful. We know them personally. Natasha's Attic, fantastic costume shop. They're moving around quite a bit. You're gonna see some deals, so but definitely pay attention to what they're doing. They're gonna have sales very soon. They acquired a bunch of costumes. They're here in San Jose. People literally drive from many, many miles to go find what they have in their treasure trove. Coscove.com is actually a small female startup, a female-owned startup, and where it's to allow you to buy and sell cosplay safely, so you're not just on Facebook trying to do this, although Facebook has been pretty good sometimes, but it's hit or miss. But Coscove is this kind of space where you can safely put it up there. They make sure it does get sent to you. There are actual consequences for things not getting there and not being the way it should look. And then Butler Cafe, love that group. They are also an activist cosplay group, but of course in the name, they are butlers. Check them out, they're fantastic. And the last slide is our slide. We thank you for joining us. Please become a part of our family. We would love to have you. If you are local, come walk with us. We have had individuals who are actually in this room in the back who have walked with us. He's ignoring me, it's fine. It's fine. But yes, I think Silicon Valley is the best. This is where all the things are amazing, right?
Can you remind us when Pride is again?
The 20th.
It's the last weekend of August.
Thank you.
27th and the 28th. We are doing Mario Kart Ta-da Rainbow Road. That is going to be our theme. So we have people who are very excited to build out Mario Karts out of just Amazon boxes. And then obviously there's quite a few of us up here who are already in theme and in character. And I think we're just going to have a really great time being Mario themed, coded individuals. And there's going to be very gay Warrios and I think lots of Warrios. Very sexy Waluigis. Yes.
You said that this event is on the last week of August?
Last week of August. Last weekend of August is Silicon Valley Pride.
Although they usually have events all week.
The June Pride?
So Pride, I know, some people get confused. So Pride is all year. I don't care. But yeah, there are actually multiple Pride parades or Pride events throughout the Bay Area and throughout actually the U.S. You can find them almost at every month because June, otherwise, it doesn't always work for every city to do something in June. So June is nationally Pride Month, but Pride parades and Pride festivals happen year round.
We need that.
We need it. So come be ultra gay with us. Be all the gay. We throw lots of glitter and we're gonna have fun. We are gonna be running the family garden, like I said earlier. So we're gonna be focused on keeping the kiddies and kiddos super excited during the actual festival and the actual parade. We have a couple of different cars And I don't know about you guys, but we enjoy drinking, day drinking. Anyone else here like day drinking? Is it just us? Please don't lie to us.
Do you want to start drinking?
And if you don't drink, that is totally fine. If you just want to go ahead and enjoy mocktails with us, that is fine too. We just turn it up and have fun. That's, I think, the best part. We have so many different people in our groups that they party with us because we're not going to go ahead and push alcohol on them like weird people do. That's so awkward.
Like SF Pride.
Oh my.
Sorry, we're from SF.
Oh my
Pride
God,
is a mess.
so incredibly strange when people are like, please, why aren't you drinking? And you're like, no, I don't want to drink, and regardless of your reasons. But yeah, no, just come hang out with us. We're all very fun, and we're just one big happy family that will never judge you. We will always love you, no matter what you do, whether you come cosplay or you just want to like be in the actual chats and just not go, but you want to be a part of something, also okay. We have plenty of people who do that too. So, all right, I think we're on time. Did I do it?
Yeah.
We did it.
Amazing.
This is like a first and foremost. We are on time. It just took having a very wonderful group of people here to do this.